YouTube? It's Mr. Eric, Saturday, October 16th, 2021. Let me quickly check if Saturdays are for the boys. Nope, Saturdays are for the books. So, what that means is, if you're looking for excitement in this video, you're not going to get it, unfortunately. Today is all about work. If you want to stick around and listen to the work, feel free. If not, you can leave the video. Alright, Mr. Eric, I'll stick around, but what you mean by work? Well, John and I leave for the warehouse at 7:30 a.m. because at 8 a.m. sharp, I have a delivery coming. Oh, man, Mr. Eric, another delivery of Gaylords? No, not Gaylords. Boxes of books. I have a new source, no more information I can give with that is delivering me books by the box. So I'm getting about 100 boxes today that I need to process over the weekend to determine whether or not this source is good or not. So at 8 a.m., this guy shows up in his van with 100 boxes of books, and me and John unload. Now this guy, at first, he doesn't really know what to do. He just stands and watches. But then after a little bit, he decides to help, and we get a process going. We get all the books out in literally like 30 minutes, which is pretty good. 100 boxes of heavy books onto the loading dock, onto the pallets, onto the carts, and then down the hall to the bookstore/warehouse. That is pretty good timing, 30 to 40 minutes. Now, I'm not going to say how much I paid per box. I think I'm getting a great deal because I bargained with the guy for a little bit, and he's hoping to make a connection with me, and I could tell from the way he was acting today that he surely wanted to impress me. My strategy was to come off as strong and confident and like I don't need this guy. So when I talked to him first, I said, hey, I'm really not sure if this is going to work out for you. I'm going to take a look at what these books have to offer me over the weekend, and I'll have an answer for you next week as to whether or not I want to keep buying from you. However, can you tell me what your source is? And obviously, he doesn't tell me what his source is, and I say, okay, well, if they've been picked over, I'll know, and I won't be able to do business with you anymore. And he seemed a little bit nervous, to be honest, which is a good thing, because as the buyer, you always want to be on the edge. So if he wants me to be one of his big customers, he's going to have to impress me. If he doesn't impress me, I can go to any other source with bulk books and make it work. So once we get the books loaded up into the warehouse, I'm pretty eager as to what's inside. So I start to scan through the boxes. Meanwhile, I have John doing some more eBay listings like he was last night. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with what I find inside these boxes. Now, at first, I noticed that the boxes have kind of been sorted by genre. So what that's alerting me is that these books are probably coming from an old bookstore or a library sale where they just packed up all the books by section into boxes and then gave them to this guy. Now, that's not really good from a face value, but when I start to scan through these books, it seems like the scanners or dealers who were at these book sales didn't do a great job, because there is stuff that's in there that's in pretty good, very good condition, and it's profitable for the price I'm paying. Now, there's a bunch of books without ISBNs that are also pretty profitable that I'm happy about, especially for eBay. And then there's other books with barcodes/ISBNs that are also profitable. So I'm actually making out a little bit better, I think, than the Gaylords. Plus, it's easier for me to unpack from boxes than it is to reach inside a Gaylord, go through all the freaking mass markets and stuff that's there, and pick out the stuff I want. What I'm not seeing in these boxes is a lot of mass market stuff. It's honestly like a lot of really good condition stuff. Now, I'm not going to tell this guy, because that way he's going to try to like charge me more, but for you guys, like, that's what I look for when I'm looking for sources. That makes it easy for me when I can take stuff out by the box and then reload it back into a box and hit somebody up and ask them to pick it up. I'm very happy with that kind of workflow. I don't like the whole Gaylord process, especially since I got to think about buying a pallet tipper to make it easier on my back to access the Gaylords. Alright, so moral of the story here is I'm pretty satisfied with what I've gone through so far, but I'm going ahead of myself. Like, let me just go back to this morning. So, this morning, yup, I started working on the boxes, scanning through the stuff while John was doing eBay listings. I got through about, like, 1/8 of the boxes before Lisa and Lois, who are some customers that came to the bookstore like a month ago, started to come in today. This Lisa lady hit me up this past week, is like, hey, my mom and I want to come back to shop this Saturday, are you free? And I'm like, bet, of course I'm free, feel free to come in. So they gave me a call when they're here, I let them in and I let them browse. I throw in some classic rock music to make it a better atmosphere. They seemed to vibe to it because they stayed like an hour and a half. Now they stayed longer than John because John had to go to soccer games, so it was just me and these two wonderful ladies who were there. I was doing doing my work on the boxes. They were looking through the books. They came out paying about $60 worth of books, so that was like 30 each. I'm pretty happy with that. A lot of the stuff they bought is like eBay crap listings that aren't going to sell for much, but I just prefer to have them on eBay because I could package and ship them quickly and make the sale. So they picked out a lot of that stuff. Nothing really high value except for one book on Amazon. Most of it was eBay stuff. So I'm happy I'm able to sell that stuff, free up some shelf space. The ladies leave, and then it's just me on my own in the AC working through the boxes. Now, I get through about half of the boxes before I decide I'm hungry and I want to go home to eat. So I go home, I eat some of the Asian stir fry that mom makes. It's super good. I try to communicate with Daria, but she's not having it, so instead while I'm eating, I'm just watching an old Ross Creations video. Dude, Ross Creations, if you haven't watched them on YouTube, this guy's freaking hilarious. I value him and Nelk at the same level because they're like different types of people. Nelk is more like R-rated stuff, like R-rated pranks. Ross Creations is more like clever, funny pranks. So I find both that stuff hilarious, so I love to watch them both. But the Ross Creations video I was watching was the one from like 3 years ago where he goes to the library, hooks up his Bluetooth keyboard and mouse to a library computer, and then waits for people to use that computer, and while they're using it, he starts to use his mouse, and he like opens up paint and stuff, and starts to paint weird drawings, and the guys try to fight with him over who controls the mouse, and they don't know that it's actually Ross Creations behind them. They think it's like a hacker or something. One dude was playing the game for like 30 minutes, it seemed like, and I don't know how he didn't ask the library in advance about what was going on, but he just sat there and absorbed the whole thing and tried to fight with Ross Creations. Do not fight with Ross Creations. That guy's a beast. You will never win, especially if you're trying to do like a funny battle with him. Okay, once that video was done and I was filled up on food, I head back to the warehouse and I just get back to more work. All I do the rest of the night is just scan through the boxes, put the stuff that's not good back in the boxes or in the empty Gaylord that I have. That way somebody could pick it up this coming week, even the paper recycler or even this thrift shop that I know that might take it all. I don't know, we'll see. I communicate with both of them. I'm pretty happy with the turnout of all the profitable books I've scanned through so far. Let's see how much I got left in terms of boxes. I probably got like 40 boxes left out of the original 100 I got today, so I can finish those up tomorrow, especially since John's gonna help me tomorrow do some eBay listings. Probably that's what I'll have him do. Till tomorrow then, I'll let you know what happens. Peace.